You know, that person who suddenly appears. Every disaster is seen. There was a leak in the pipe and the car broke down. Battery, coil damaged, complete a whirlwind of emotions. And then suddenly, silence. Wait a minute. They're not panicking, or look it up on Google immediately while you're shaking it. The hands. They think. Then they act. Start taking action. You stand there, wondering what your mistake is. That your first instinct, I had to cry. So what really sets them apart? Are these people different from the rest of us? It's not just about experience. If you understand this, you will begin. I see it everywhere. Let's return to something important. The world of psychology. Albert Bandura was identified at the end of in the 1970s. A concept called self-confidence emerged. That has been stripped of all its academic aspects. Language is nothing more than your belief that they are capable of facing what the future holds. It's you, not the general optimism. It's your optimism. Very accurate. That's a feeling I have. I've dealt with this kind of thing before, and it's in what awaits me is manageable. Bandura observed that this belief alone, this significantly changes the amount of time a person spends persevere in solving a problem before giving up. And all the effort they put into it when things get complicated, what motivates people to act. Has it always been like this? This is where it gets personal. Think about what this happens the first time the child tries it. To fix something, like really trying, it's effective. Even for small things. I moved the cable and the lamp turned on. They restarted the computer and it worked. They applied pressure to the wound and the bleeding stopped. At that precise moment. Something that has nothing to do with them, with the lamp or replacement parts. This restores circulation. They perceive themselves as being in relation to problems. Suddenly, the world was no longer the same. Suddenly, something happens to them. It's something they can access and change. And every time after that, when something is wrong with his nervous system, it doesn't stop. On the contrary, it continues. To the point of mild curiosity, like, oh, this is a puzzle. I've solved puzzles before. Pandora called these moments of mastery. The experiment and research are ongoing. This places them among the strongest of all. There is a source of self-confidence. No, let them tell you that you have talent, not just observe you. Someone else is doing it. In fact, they are doing it. Yourself. That's what's etched in your memory. This is a learned relationship with suspicion. Julian Rutter spent years studying what this level was called the control center. What the person believes belongs to them. Actions determine results, not consequences. Luck or destiny. And people who remain still. However, at the lower end of this scale, they simply need to improve their repair skills. They are less likely to suffer from depression. Manage stress in such a way that it does not. This includes its complete dismantling. Life. It lasts longer. It was recognized in different cultures and age groups. The feeling of your effort. It seems that what really matters is one of the following points. The most protective psychological trait a person can own one. But most of these people aren't born that way. It all began from very specific moments, generally during childhood, when a person either you give them the power to act or you leave them alone. They have no choice but to look for it themselves. Sometimes it's one of the parents who says, I won't give you the answer. I'm going to help you understand. Sometimes, one of the parents was not present. There was nothing that could help him, so the boy learned. Taking control of one's own life. Both paths lead to in the same place. And now, a truly surprising part, because it looks like a trust from the outside, but it's actually something in a completely different way. When a broker is involved, the situation is tense and they feel unsafe. It will work. They don't have any. A kind of magical guarantee. They feel it. The same uncertainty you feel. What's it about? The difference lies in the uncertainty. They do not consider this to be a trial. It's more of a starting point. The psychological structure of this, the ability to tolerate ambiguity and the ability to sit in a position where you can, however, we don't know the exact answer. Everything will fall apart when you try to understand it. People who suffer from ambiguity need this problem needs to be resolved quickly. They need to know that everything will be all right now. And when they cannot obtain that security, fear overwhelms them and they become paralyzed, or they simply pass it on to the person who he seems calm and is slowly withdrawing. Someone who, at some point in your life, fixes things. That's how they learn to accept it. An awkward interstitial space. Okay, let's take a breath for a moment. I'm going to be honest. I think it has something to do with that, because I believe it. The video will be harmful to you if I didn't mention that. Some people who I know how to fix anything, and I mean it. Everything, both emotional and practical, from a logistical point of view, for everyone around them. Sometimes, it doesn't start anywhere. Strength. Some of them have learned to repair themselves. They did things because that's how they earned a living. Its location. The approval was in the solution. He stood there, powerless. At some point in their lives, honestly, it was risky. So his nervous system decided, I will never be impotent again. It's more of an adaptation mechanism. Wear a costume with superpowers. Try it. That's when you ask them to authorize another person. They are incapable of managing anything. They are physically incapable. Calm down. They're floating. There they make unwanted suggestions. It should be reparable, not just for you. Saki, because there is something unstable somewhere. Those around them have the impression that something is unstable about them. But then, and there's another type. This is it. She's the kind of person who deserves to be talked about. The person who solves problems, honestly curiosity, sparked by broken objects. They are truly fascinated. The gorges between not working and working, there is only one option. One of the most interesting places in the world belongs to them. These people want to destroy it. With the exception of one point that they have already corrected, only to better understand the situation, they will ask questions. Questions with no practical application. They will explain what went wrong. A level of detail that nobody asked for. They are euphoric, as if they had just discovered it. Beauty. These are the people who fell in love. With the same effectiveness, but not with the same result. The process, the discovery, the expenses. Spending time with these kinds of people is one of those things. The most important things you can do to recharge your energy. For yourself. For what they represent. Was it unintentional? Knowing how to do something is simply this is a temporary condition. A fracture is not a permanent condition. In permanent mode, you can place it, identify the problem, and, in fact, a movement. Maybe you're sitting here and you realize you are one of those people, and I haven't really thought about the reason. Or about you. Perhaps you'll realize that you're not like that, and the idea of being like that works. That's really strange for you. And if regarding the second point, I would like to say something. Here's why it is not easy to outsource the repair of broken objects. A character flaw. It's history. A collection of experience has taught you that problems are things that happen to you, and not the other way around. And that's not always the case. Trusted technology. Pandora. This whole argument boils down to the fact that he builds through experience. Small victories. Insignificant victories. Moments of trial and success. No. Heroic and monumental reforms. You're the only one tightening the screws. That's the crux of the matter. You made the decision. You didn't carry it out. Wait for someone to save you. This is where the story begins. But to understand why you were created this way, we're only halfway there. The hardest part is yet to come. He's working on something about it. Understanding, because consciousness without the structure tends to be like this. More information for your brain to repeat. There you have it. You can see the diagram, you can name it. Then you think about it a lot, and nothing changes. The gap between perception and understanding. And the change itself, that's what I have. I'm trying to solve this problem on behalf of the people. Check out this channel. If you're a person who understands it intellectually, but retains it to find oneself trapped in the same thing episodes, same frequency, same thing, I start something might happen next week. The pinned comment that may be valuable, check it out. It's a 7-day reset pack. It was built specifically in that style. Overthinking, emotional obstacles, and implement regular monitoring in a method that doesn't require you to depend on either you motivate yourself or you force yourself to overcome it. It's organized in daily steps, so this will not become anything more than what you undertake. And give up. It was designed to be. This has already been done. If you are here, you're right, it's related. Description and comment set.